Welcome back, y'all. Lambo here, and today we are going over the hottest cards and sealed product of the Mega Evolution block. And it's really kind of surprising me how much people are buying up these cases and the sealed product of the Mega block just because, guys, a lot of these sets are going to be in print for a while. And I don't know if people are just that confident or if they really think they're going to hold it for as long as they're thinking they're going to. But good luck if you're buying at the volume that some of these people are. So let's go over what cards and sealed are the hottest this week. And we have the Charcadet from Pokemon Center exclusive from the Mega Evolutions promo. And we can see on the 5th, we had 24 of these selling, and it's up here at $52 about. And I really like this card. With it being the Pokemon Center exclusive, I don't know if it super matters for me personally, but I really like this card. I think Charcadet is very strong, new Gen 9 Pokemon, and I think that you can't go wrong picking up Charcadet. But at $50 for Pokemon Center exclusive, it's not terrible, but still definitely pretty pricey. But not surprised. A lot of the Pokemon Center stuff, anything exclusive, is just getting bought up right now. We have the Mega Lucario EX from Mega Evolutions. It's up 43%. And we actually have the most recent sell here of $310. But we can see most of the legit ones here listed around $241. But very nice. We've talked about how, for me personally, this is one of the best SIRs. So would not be surprised if we see it here at $300 pretty soon. Mega Gardevoir is up about at $200 market price, so up 5%. I definitely think that $200 is about where this should be. Anything above it, I mean maybe 250, but having it be below $200 there for a while, I think it was a no-brainer picking this up because it is a beautiful card, and that Gardevoir right there chilling in front of Mega Gardevoir is just absolutely insane, and you have all the flower patterns, just such a good card. Then we have the Mega Latias, and this one is surprisingly up 18% for the month. This one chilled out here under $80 for a while, and now it's up to $92. Very nice. Same with the Mega Absol here, up 13%. Most recent sell, $73. And this card is pretty epic, Batman. We'll see how this card does with the new Mega Absol Z, I believe, possibly coming out with Pitch Black. So we'll have to keep an eye on if that is actually coming out in that set or if it's going to be in a later one. But it'll be interesting to see how this one performs once the other one comes out, because this Absol is more of kind of an angel theme, whereas the other Absol kind of looks more demonic. So it'd be pretty cool if this Absol looks like it's looking down at the other Mega Absol, and then that other one's looking up at this one on top of the building. So I hope it's a somewhat connective art. That would be so sick, but we'll have to wait and see there. The Vulpix here, the IR is up 31%, and market price $19.30. And I don't normally super care about these IRs because for me, I don't usually buy them. I like to try to pull the IRs just because they're easier to pull. So I like to save the IRs for when I'm opening packs, and eventually at some point, I think that this card will be even cheaper than it is now, but not surprised. This is one of the better IRs of Mega Evolution. We have the Mega Evolution Enhanced Booster Case of 8%, and most recent sale, almost $1,800 there. And this is what we're talking about with the booster cases. It does make sense with, or just cases in general, it does make sense with the booster box cases though, just because Pokemon has refused to reprint any of these. So not surprised to see on the 11th we had 3 of these selling, and then another one selling today. And no surprise, I feel like any of the cases to be buying up would potentially be the booster box cases, but some of the other stuff is pretty silly. We have the Mega Evolution Pokemon Center. The trainer box is up 34%. We can see on the 8th it was down here at $291, and then here on the 11th shot up to $307. We've had about 7 sold over the last few days. The most recent sale, $489. So I don't know. Someone bought an extra minty one, but could see it 400, but I don't know. We haven't seen a restock or any reprints of the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes in a while. And I feel like people are just getting more and more confident with that being the case, and people are just willing to spend big money on these Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. And it'll be interesting to see outside of like 151, Paldean Fates, all those big hitters, how these other Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes are going to perform. Because we obviously have Obsidian Flames ETBs performing super well, but you have a super good Charmander promo in there that connects with the Stellar Crown, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle, so that one makes sense. But I'm more curious to see how these ones tend to do, these other Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, because I think they could potentially have a pretty low ceiling. Like, could be lucky to see $1,000, but only time will tell with these kind of items. I mean, maybe it's exclusive enough with it just not being printed enough, and having that stamp on there is just a bonus. So we'll have to see. The Mega Evolutions Enhanced Booster Box is up above $300 now. Market price $315, up 7% for the month. And same thing, just benefiting from not really seeing much of a reprint. I did pick one of these up in my vending machine back in, I believe it was January. And that could have been like the tail end of the restocks, but we'll just have to see with these booster boxes. And we have the regular Evolutions booster box is up 14%, market price $340, and it definitely seems like this is more of a scarcity thing, that these have not been printed as much. And yeah, I mean, if we do get a reprint, it'll be interesting to see if we get the enhanced one or if we get the regular one. So it's honestly kind of a gamble for some of these people. Which one are they going to reprint? So 50-50 chance there. We have Piplup from Phantasmal Flames going on quite the tear there, up 35%. There's a ton of people that love to pump this Piplup. I would be extremely cautious because I think Phantasmal Flames is going to get printed a ton, especially, you know, outside of the booster box or the ETBs. And people chasing that Charizard, I feel like you're just going to have so many of these Piplups just thrown off to the side. And I think buying up, like this person bought up 320, or I mean, I guess it's not one person, but come on, 320, that looks super coordinated. So be careful with Piplup there. That one seems pretty obvious what's going on there. And it's a beautiful card, but $20, I mean, I don't think it's going to go up really. I mean, you'll be lucky to go up to like $25 for a long time. So this one, potentially, I would see it dropping down here back to $14 or $12. I mean, heck, I would even guess $10. But I love Piplup. I love Gen 4, my favorite generation. So not surprised that this card is pumping up there. And we had the Phantasmal Flames Elite Trainer Box case, just absolutely skyrocketing there. On the 6th, we had 8 sell, and the most recent sell is 1,500, and that's pretty much where we're at. We have only 8 listings here, and this is what I'm talking about. I mean, going in this deep on Phantasmal Flames Elite Trainer boxes is crazy to me, because I feel like this ETB should see a pretty healthy reprint at some point. So be very cautious with these kind of products, because right now Pokemon is reprinting Elite Trainer boxes. So be pretty careful there with the ETBs, in my opinion. And this is not financial advice, obviously, huh? And then same thing with the Phantasmal Flames sleeve booster case. We can see day before 6 of these sold on the 5th, and then another one on the 6th. And most recent sale, $2,000. And we obviously only have 2 listings, but I mean, this one for sure is going to see a massive reprint at some point, especially because that's what and how Pokemon targeted Destined Rivals was these sleeve booster packs. So I gotta imagine that Pokemon is gonna reprint the crap out of these sleeve booster cases. So definitely be prepared for this to come down in the near future. The Phantasmal Flames booster box case is up 11%. On the 5th, we can see 11 sold, 6 another 8, and then a couple more. And it's kind of chilled out here on the sells. But most recent sell, $3,000, and 16 listings here. So pretty decent amount of these cases still out there, but it's just crazy to see how many sold last week. The Phantasmal Flames booster box is kind of going up and down. It's trying to hit 500, but had to throw it in here just because we can see quite a few of them selling, especially with the cases going up as fast as they did. Definitely think that we could see the booster box here hitting $500 here in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, there was that whole thing floating around about Phantasmal Flames seeing a reprint Q1, and then instead we saw Prismatic. So I don't know if maybe they're 2-3 months behind on their printing, and we'll just have to wait and see with Phantasmal Flames. But I definitely think that it is one of those sets that it could get the Surging Sparks treatment. And I think if anything, we're going to see it mirror what Surging Sparks went through over the last 6 to 8 months. So I'd feel pretty confident holding off on Phantasmal Flames. If I'm actually going to trade one of my Phantasmal Flames booster boxes for a Prismatic SBC, just because I have 2 of these, and I just can't see Pokemon not reprinting these, and I could see this coming down to $250. And at that point, I might pick up another one, but that's just what I predict, is that these come down to $250. So if I'm able to trade it into an SBC, a Prismatic, I'm definitely going to do that. The premium poster collection from Ascended Heroes absolutely skyrocketed on the 6th. We had 16 sold, jumped up to $1,000, and we're kind of bouncing around there, but seeing 16 sold on the 6th and then steady flow there, pretty crazy. And this one we may not see a crazy amount more, but I gotta imagine that these will come to Costco. So, but obviously with being a case, there's the case premium right now, which is absolutely ridiculous. You should be getting it for less, in my opinion, from a case. But cool, you do you, boo. The Ascended Heroes Elite Trainer box case is one that kind of makes sense to me, because even if it does get a massive reprint, a lot of cases, I still think that there's so many cards in this set that even with a massive reprint, you're going to see it opened up as much as Prismatic. I don't know if I'm confident enough to say more, but just because I think eventually we are going to start to see some fatigue. Like, people are eventually going to slow down on opening product, and I think Prismatic definitely put people in the ringer financially when it comes to opening. So I definitely could see a pullback with Ascended Heroes at some point. But right now, when it comes to cases, this is one of the most recent sets. I think it kind of makes sense, but it is absolutely terrifying buying it at $2,000. But best of luck to you, good sirs. The Ascended Heroes First Partner Deluxe Pin Collection is also steadily increasing there, up 42%. That's not right. Something weird happened there, but still up above $400. And we only have 8 listings here. Thought that was pretty interesting. There's not that many listed. Now we're going to get into perfect order. We're going to slow the roll a little bit, but I still think that this set has kind of proven quite a few people wrong, where it's not like an awful set by any means. I mean, like the Meowth is continuing to run up, surprisingly. I mean, it's pushing almost up to $200, market price $190. And yeah, Meowth is one of those popular Pokemon. I think a lot of people underestimated this card, me included, just because it looks so similar to the ultra rare that, like, for me, it's kind of, it just doesn't feel as good as it could have. But I think it is one of those cards that it's interesting. It definitely has more of that cartoony Japanese vibe to it, especially with like the background and the coins. But do I think it's a $200 card? No, but clearly the market thinks otherwise. And that's why I also have in here, this is my chase card, the Mega Clefable. You have the regular Clefable down here in the bottom. It's actually up 10% for the month. You know, it shot up here on the 7th up to 80, 45 sold. Kind of come down a little bit, but for me, this card I think is really good. And I had to throw in the Clefairy just because it does look like it's connective. And from like the 7th, it's up almost to $30. So nothing crazy, but you know, when you do see the trend up, it's one of those things that I think it's worth considering in the long run. I don't think it's something that you'd go crazy into, but I do think that it is one of those sets where it does have a little bit of a niche that I think in the long run really could do pretty well. We can even see here the Perfect Order booster box case is up 8% for the month. You know, back here we had a lot being sold at the beginning of the month, but a couple sold the last few days, and we're up here at $1,250, 14 listed. So these booster box cases are, it's just a gold mine for people. And finally, the Perfect Order Elite Trainer box case is up. You can see on the 8th, we had 4 sold at $659, but now market price $680, but the most recent sell $729. And this one is pretty crazy just because we haven't even got wave 2. So if you bought this, I would consider trying to get rid of this as quick as possible. You're about to lose your butt if the second wave is as big, if not bigger, than the first wave of Perfect Order. But yeah, that's what is moving this week. Just more of those sealed cases and a lot of the booster boxes. And it's pretty scary with the Mega Block because I think that this potentially has a lot of risk at seeing those reprints. But in this day and age, it seems like people don't really care about the reprints, which, I mean, like, I get it, you know, buy more, but when you're already buying at such high prices, it's pretty sketch. But appreciate you guys stopping by, and you guys have a great week. Peace.